Well, a very good evening. Welcome to tonight's edition of Breeding to Win. Well, it's not really night time because we're here at the LANZERAC Hotel and Spa, and what a day they've put on for us today. It's been the draw for the LANZERAC Ready to Run race, and the new room was opened, and what a fantastic facility that turned out to be as well. Food was outstanding, a great turnout, and we certainly enjoyed the presence of Morgan Dean Smith as well, who's become the LANZERAC ambassador. But enough from me. We're going to firstly cross over to see exactly what happened out at LANZERAC for the draw. Later on, we'll be discussing the couple of feature races. That's on the 22nd of November. We'll have guests Brett Crawford and Joey Ramsden. I'm sure they'll be quite insightful as to the races going forward. And then later on, we'll be closing the show with some Gavel House slides as well. But first up, we'll be crossing to the team out at the LANZERAC who were there to witness the running of the draw for the 2014 event.
I would like to welcome you all to the wonderful LANZERAC Hotel. It is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Behind the bottles of wine, there is a bowl over there. This, by the way, has been audited by the National Horse Racing Authority, and we thank them very much, the regulators, our referee of the sport, for being here and monitoring all of this. But I'll ask Morgan, there's a bowl just behind, if Vicky will help, to choose one of the numbers that come out of there. And we shall begin with number 1. Okay, we begin with Belong to Me. Gareth Pepper, please come up and select one of these bottles. Once it's been popped, you can take the bottle of wine with you, naturally. So there we go. And that number is number 8. Belong to Me, of course, from the Janssen Van Vieren stable. Waishong Mawing, I see, is carded to ride. I am told that this is one of the better horses in Johannesburg. Number 2, we go in numerical order then to Brutal Force. Joey Ramsden's here. Please welcome Joey. Come and join us to do the draw. What is that, Joe?
We've got the same as last year.
Is it? Is it a 12? Okay. Bernard Fade Herb is going to ride Brutal Force. Number 3, the Captain's Tune. Derek Brugman is here to represent Marcus Jooster. Very first bottle of the wonderful LANZERAC wine. 3. Number 3, from the Jeff Woodruff stable, another Gauteng Raider, and Piers Striker Stradum is looking to ride winner number 5,000. Number 4, River God from the Vaughan Marshall stable. There we go. Who draws? So River God has drawn at 6. Vaughan, you'll be happy with that. MJ Bielefeld will be riding River God. Also good form, been around a long time, trained in most provinces, if not all of them already, and had lots of winners. Imperial Gold is number 5. You have a go and pop a balloon. Draws at gate number 10. Sean Terry trains this out of Gauteng. Anthony Delpesh has been asked to ride Imperial Gold. Varlo is next on the list. And Lars Kelp is here. Let's see which way that goes. There we go. So that draws at 18. And Varlo from the Dean Cannemeyer stable. Carl Nisius is going to ride Varlo. Clifton Surf from the Alan Greef stable. Vicky, Alan asked if you would please, wouldn't mind helping in selecting a bottle of wine. Luckily, you don't ride for them anymore, so I'm sure it doesn't really matter, but it would be helpful if you got a good one. Let's see. And what number's that? 17. Okay. Good to see the out-of-towners to come and raid. And Stuart Randolph is going to ride Clifton Surf. 17 for Clifton Surf, ladies and gents. Peace Pact is next, and that is the Michael Bass runner. Welcome, Mike Bass. Okay. There we go. 14. Number 8, Peace Pact, ladies and gentlemen. Grant van Niekerk is going to be riding that.
I banged myself on the head afterwards. I said, you should have sent somebody else because you got no luck. 14's very wide, but, you know, sometimes as draws go, it doesn't always, it's always nice to be drawn well, but, you know, sometimes draws work out. Depends on the horses.
Zambezi River is another Sean Terry runner. Nevertheless, okay, what have we got for Zambezi? So Zambezi draws one. They'll be very happy with that. Will Sean, Samanga Kumalo and team. Zambezi River gets pole position. Pennington Sands. Right, there we go. 16. Pennington Sands from the Tyron Zaki stable. Another one of those that are coming to visit Gauteng. Gavin Larena is going to be riding Pennington Sands.
There was probably two people that own horses that didn't actually turn up today, and I had to pick the bottles myself, and I drew terrible numbers for them. So I hope they don't hunt me down and like kill me. But anyway, there was a lot of pressure there, yeah. But I hope everyone was happy in the end with what they got.
Alexis for Brett Crawford and Corne Offer. And Mrs. Cheryl, Dalma Cheryl, you'll just know what it's all about to win a race like this, so I'm sure you're very excited about it. 2, is it? Well done.
Dalma did a fantastic job today pulling a great draw for us of barrier stall 2, so very pleased with the way the draw panned out for us. And you know, she's a filly that's just improving all the time, and I think we can expect another good effort from her next Saturday.
Happy news, happy days. Cat in the Moon, Justin Snaith. Here we go. Was it a 9? We've had 6 already, so that'll be a 9. Please, we try her. Cat and the Moon. Sean Cormack is going to be riding Cat and the Moon. Okay, so there, Jono, we will ask Ravon Smith to come up on your behalf now. Ravon to come and draw for Harvard Crimson. We'll pass it to Morgan. 13. 13 for Harvard Crimson. That Robert Carty is going to be riding. That is now we are number 13. Right, 14. Sunset Trip is next. Draws at 5. Richard Faree is going to be riding this on the 22nd. Right, and then we've got 4 more to go, ladies and gentlemen. Shimmering Leaves, number 15 from Eric Sands stable. Thank you. Well done. Hold it up. Draws 4. That's good news for Eric Sands. He'll be very happy with that. To 16, Jeweler's Joy, we move to next. There we go. Draws at gate 11. For the Glen Cotson stable, and Greg Sheen is going to ride that.
Very happy. I think she's had good preparation for the race. Glen's done a fantastic job with her. I'm very competitive, so I've actually anticipated her getting in. And yeah, so I'm very happy having a go at that R2 million pot.
This is Night in Seattle that you're going to be drawing for. And that draws. Number 7. Simon's been requested to draw this formality. I still don't know. Does anybody know what the number should be? 15. Okay, well, let's see if Simon can get that out of Morgan. Pop that balloon. There we go. Is that a 15? Just show it to the camera. There we go, and that confirms it. Those are your numbers. Don't forget to put on your best hat. Come to the races, and we'll see you at the races on the 22nd of November. Thank you.
Jacqueline, you doing a hat for Morgan on the day. What kind of feel are you going with?
Well, I'm really using
the inspiration for what Morgan's going to be wearing, and Morgan is wearing an outfit by Gavin Raja. It's absolutely beautiful. The colorway is black and white and different, patterns going on. So in terms of what Morgan's wearing, the styling is very 1950s, and I thought we'd try and keep with that in terms of the hat. I already have the hat. It just depends on the day if it works or if it doesn't work.
Jacqueline, now Morgan feels that a hat is compulsory for race day. Are you going to, being one of the judges on the panel, do you also find it as a requirement?
I think for this particular competition, it is most definitely a requirement. In terms of finishing off, I always say that a hat is like the dot of an exclamation mark turned upside on its head, turned around. And depending on how you're wearing that hat or how it's sitting on the head is defining the sentence that you're wishing to express. So for me, it's very important for this competition, yes.
I'm looking for individuality. I want creativeness. It's very easy to walk into a shop and find a dress that looks very standard race day dress. But if you see someone that looks like they have a different sense of style and they've thought everything through and they look different, I think if you look at someone and they have that creativeness, they will just stand out in the crowd. And I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. Jacqueline is the expert when it comes to the headwear. I'm not even touching that, but I'd like to think I have a bit of knowledge on what I think looks stunning and looks race appropriate. So I think we will definitely work together, and both our strengths will help us find the perfect winner for this competition.
I must really compliment CTS on what they've done so far, and also LANZERAC, the sponsor. And it's just a fantastic venue and a great occasion. So I'm really, really privileged to be involved and having horse in the race.
LANZERAC and CTS put on a fantastic day. It's awesome for racing. They spoil the clients, and it's how racing should be, So we're definitely looking forward to next Saturday, and hopefully the result will be the same.
Well, for me, I'm just looking to have a great day. Look, I mean, it's free entry there. It's going to be fantastic. Families should come and just really enjoy the day. But for me, it's going to be fashion. That's what I'm going to be looking for. I want to see the guys coming smartly dressed, good suits, but be creative. Don't just go for standard suit. Get a different jacket to a trouser. Wear something like a nice scarf, something very smart. For the women, it's got to be something beautiful. Go for elegance. Something long is always stunning. Depending if it's going to be a hot day, go for a nice summery short dress, but always put the hat and nice jewellery, accessories. That's what I'm going to be looking forward to. I'm going to be watching fashion from everywhere.
In the LANZERAC ready-to-run stakes presented by CTS, Redway gets given his head and he comes forward and takes up the running. Captain America's on the chase. Back along the inside, Accelero. The riders towards the inside. Redway's got a race on his hands. As Captain America falls alongside of him. Captain America, Redway. Captain America, Redway. It's Captain America climbing up. Captain America beats Redway on the line.
Warhorse, hailed by the Sunday Times as the theatrical experience of the decade. Warhorse. Experience it live. Warhorse.
Well, the Artscape Theatre will be holding a charity performance on Thursday, the 11th of December, where you can purchase your ticket at a discounted price of only R300. Proceeds going to the National Horse Trust. For more information and bookings to see Warhorse, please call Joanne Knowles on 083 399 6353. Well, you also, some lucky viewers, stand a chance of winning a set of double tickets to this performance, courtesy of CTS. Tell us who the beneficiary of the charity performance is on Thursday the 11th of December, and you got a chance of winning double tickets to the performance Warhorse. You can email your answers to grant@claverflay.co.za.
Fantastic news from Aventure Stud, one of our primary sponsors on Breeding to Win. Miss Frankel and Mom arrive home at Aventure. Great to have the champion race mare back in South Africa. The team at Aventure Estate were ecstatic last week when one-time SA champion sprinter Valdera arrived home safely with her Super Frankel foal in tow. She's looking well, and the filly is a real character. We had a fantastic visit by Valdera's Racing Days trainer, Dennis Dreyer, and his wife Jill early in the week. And we all agreed that this foal has something special about it. So lots to look forward to, and we certainly will be covering Valdera and her foal's interest all the way through with Breeding to Win going forward. Welcome back, and as promised, we've got two guests to go through the feature races lined up for the 22nd of November. Brett Crawford and Joey Ramsden. First, you guys, thanks very much for joining me. And we're going to go through the three main races on the day. Let's start with the Green Point Stakes. You got a couple of runners there as well, and Brett sends out Futura. And let's start with you there, Brett. Obviously, he's having a fresh run back now because after the Durban season.
Yeah, that's right, Scott. He came back from Durban, had a spell on the farm in Wellington. He's been back in work. He's had 2 grass gallops. He's doing very well. Obviously, the draw, you know, he's drawn a bit wide, and a mile on the old course probably not quite his trip. But he's doing very well, and you know, we'll give him a chance and let him run on, and he'll be one of the fastest finishing horses on the day.
Yes, while I'm talking to you, and we'll come to Joey to chat about some others now. Captain America also returning from a lengthy layoff.
He is. He came back from Durban. We took the option to geld him, which I think was the right thing to do. He's actually doing very, very well at the moment. He put up a really nice piece of work yesterday at Kenilworth. And I think a mile's his terrain, and I think he's probably, for me, out of the 2 at the moment, the stable elect.
Did your jock choose him?
He didn't, because obviously, you know, Glenn is due to come back in December, and Futura is his horse. So Corne said he'd rather try to build a relationship with Captain America. Fantastic.
Joe, thanks for joining us. And obviously, you don't have a run in the Green Point, but you know these horses pretty well. And I'm going to ask you to comment on Justin Snaith's runner, Legislate, because he obviously had a great Durban season. And good to think it's probably a prep run as well for him.
Yeah, well, depends who you listen to. Before it is, afterwards it isn't it? But if you listen to Justin, he's the next best thing since sliced bread. And he's obviously seriously good, and his form speaks for itself, doesn't it?
You've got the 3-year-old in as well, Dean Canemaker's African Burn. He's obviously had a good run. He ran in the Kuda Matcham, and it wasn't a bad run.
It's interesting, isn't it? 2 2-year-old races on the day, 2 3-year-old races on the day, and 2 guys have opted to take on the older horses.
Think they can take them on? Or is it a tough ask now?
I'll be honest with you. I think it's a tough ask. I really do think it's a tough ask. But both, Dean knows his stuff, and they know what they're doing.
Let's talk about Justin's other runner ready to go right now, Brett. Obviously, he's also been racing. He's had a couple of runs. Is he one of your bigger threats, do you think, Pierre on board?
I personally think he's a decent horse. I'm not quite sure he's in the caliber of horses like Legislate and Futura. I think he's just a really good, hard-knocking horse. But Futura's beaten him before, and I see no reason why I can't beat him again.
I know it's early days. If you were to stick your neck out in terms of your 2, you're thinking Captain America is worth including in the exotics?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way he's come on, the way he's been working at home. Like I say, for me, I think out of the 2, he's probably further down the road than Futura. With Futura, we've got the mate in mind with him. So.
I've always said you've got on well with the handicappers and the NRB, and I see proof for yourself, because you quite handily chose draws 9 and 10. Well done for them.
Yeah.
Out of a 10 and 11 horse field, yeah. All righty. Joey, from your side, is there anything else here that you think might have winning credentials that we haven't chatted about?
No. It's the simple answer to that. I think it's a fascinating race because I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's a lot between any of those top five. I've always been a huge Captain America fan, and I'm sure Brett must have been very frustrated with him, and he'd like to have ripped them out with his teeth because he's plainly, you know, I know what I thought of my horse last year. And he's plainly a very, very good horse. And if gelding does the trick, I think there could be a ton of improvement in it.
All right, so that's the Green Point Stakes, sponsored by LANZERAC Le General. And this was race 5 on the day. 400,000 Rand up for grabs as well. Okay, guys, let's move on to race number 6. Now, this is the Selangor. Now, smallish field, Joey, and rumour has it your horse has scared most of the others away.
Well, it's not my rumour, but I don't know. If he has, I'm glad. I couldn't be happier. I wish I was scared. Listen, I've scared most of my owners away, so there's no reason why the horse shouldn't have scared a few of the others away. But no, he's doing very well, and obviously he renews his rivalry with ML Jet, and he's not giving quite as much weight away as he was last time. And they're sort of drawn next to each other, so it looks like a really sort of fascinating, you know, race in progress. This horse, King Valtzer, is a very good horse, but at the moment it's proving a little bit of an enigma.
Okay, you've also got Katkinen and Cotton Hill. Katkin maybe a little bit disappointing during the week?
Yeah, he was a little bit disappointing, but you know, Bernard came back and he never one to blame himself. Came back and said that he went too quickly, and we took a view that they wouldn't go a pace, and we were going to go. And we ended up going, and they really went. They really went a very good pace in that race, and they just front two ran themselves into the ground. And I think he'd have been better held up. But still, I'd be an idiot if I didn't say I was disappointed.
Okay, now I'll have to ask you, were you a little bit surprised? Because going into the Classic, obviously, you had to give plenty of weight to ML Jet. You must have been really blown away by Active War's performance on the day.
I'll be honest with you, I've always rated him, and I thought he was quite good. And I wasn't confident, but I'd have been surprised if he hadn't finished quite close to him.
All right, Brett, let's ask you about Dennis Dreyer's horse, because you've probably seen him in the mornings. He was quite a nice winner his first start here.
He was. I mean, he won a good race. You know, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he broke the course record that day. But there was a strong tailwind. My question mark is that was a 5 furlong, if I'm not mistaken, and you know, he's now going straight into a mile. I'll probably be a little bit cautious of the mile personally. So I think he'd have to improve a lot to compete with ML Jet and Active War.
On the ratings, Dean Kennemer's horse balance sheet obviously has a lot to do, but he's been pretty impressive, his 2 wins.
Yeah, he has, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, can the handicappers be close to 20 pounds off? I mean, you know, he's only getting $1.5 kilos, 3 pounds, and you know, if you look at his rating of 88 to 110, so I think it'll be the 2 horses fighting it out again. But you know, I still think the way Active War won, giving ML Jet more than he did this time, I think he's a smart horse.
Right, let's move on to the LANZERAC Ready to Run, and this is obviously where we are. We're at the LANZERAC, so let's start with you, Joey. Brutal Force, Red Ray's full brother. Yeah, he got beat last year narrowly, and there's a lot of talk about saying he might well be one of the fancied runners for this race as well. 1400 meters, Kenilworth Winter Course. How bullish are you?
Not as bullish as I was with Red Ray last year, and I got stuffed. So, listen, I think it's a far more open race than it was last year. Last year was a fantastic race. You know, Red Ray and Captain America pulled well clear of the rest of the field and put on a terrific show. And I think this year it's going to be far more close, and I think we could be in for a really superb race and a very, very tight finish. I'll tell you what it is, it's just wonderful not to see the lineup of horses, but to see the lineup of the country's best jockeys here.
Yeah, and nice to have so many visitors as well. You got the likes of Johan Janssen van Vuuren, Tyron Zaki, Sean Terry coming down, and even Alan Greer from the Eastern Cape. So it is a bit of a national affair, isn't it?
It's not that nice, they take our money, but it's nice to shake their hand as long as they can clear off without our cash. But no, it's fantastic to have those guys here, and it's great to have that calibre of rider.
Brutal Force, just quickly, he seems to be going the right way.
I thought I'd escaped.
No, he's going the right way, isn't he? I mean, he was quite a nice winner last time out. He's a big burly horse, and he must take quite a bit of work.
Yeah, he takes a hell of a lot of work. Yeah, you know, he does canter on the treadmill, and then comes out and does a piece of work or another canter on the treadmill, and then goes back in again on the afternoon and does another piece of work again. Yeah, and yet he still sort of puts weight on. So he put up a lovely gallop at Kenilworth last weekend, and we'll go again this weekend with him. He's just he's a monster in terms of work, size, and sadly, like you and I, in terms of what he can consume as well. So, you know, he's a totally different horse to Red Ray. He's very simple, very easy, very relaxed. The 12 draw is obviously going to be a little bit sticky for him. He's a big horse, so there's going to have to be a big gap for him to get in. Or if there isn't, he's going to make a big gap. He'll certainly make a hole in the field anyway. If they see him coming towards them, I'd tell you, probably they should start moving. At 600 kilos, it's going to be a very tight squeeze. It's a bit like your suitcase when you're going overseas now, containing your underwear. But anyway, he's in good form, and as I said, but it looks a very, very open field.
All right, now, Brett, you got the better of Red Ray last year. You've got a couple of runners. You've got two of the reserves, actually. I'm not sure whether they're going to get in, but let's talk about Alexis, because she's a daughter of Dynasty. She's also won her last two, and she's been pretty impressive.
Grant, she's done very well. You know, she's her form lines have stood up. There's been a lot of winners that have come out from behind her. She's a filly that's just improving all the time, as the Dynasties do. She's very versatile. You can switch her off. She's got a very good turn of foot. It's very interesting to see that, you know, out of the 16 runners, there's 7 fillies in the race this year. I think a lot more than last year. So, you know, her prep's gone very well. I do think that she's a really smart filly. I'm not too afraid with a lot of these Joburg horses. I did see Sean Terry's horse, Zambezi River, win when I was there 2 weeks ago, and he won a good race. I think he's quite a smart horse. So, yeah, you know, Belong to me, I don't know much about him, but obviously you've got to respect his rating. So I think it's a very open race. Like Joey says, I think there's a number of horses here that could fight out the finish. And obviously at the end of the day, you also need a bit of luck in running.
Yeah, let's talk about the captain's tune as well. Jeff Woodruff, Pierce Stradham off a 90. Joey, I'll go to you as well. Are you of the opinion that Cape Town is obviously a stronger centre than some of these other centres at this point when it comes to feature races?
I don't. I think it's, dare I say, it's stronger than Natal. But I think Joburg's very strong at the moment, and they got, you know, those big yards got big powerful owners, and they got some smashing horses. To even start to saying that, you know, you look at the calibre of horse that Mike Cox got, and to start saying that and think that we're stronger than that, I think it's probably fairly foolish. But if I have to say, I like Brett's filly a lot here. Good draw, and she impressed me very, very much last time. And I have to say, I know my mince pies aren't as good as they used to be, but I did 92. They obviously haven't adjusted it since its last run.
You said he had a good relationship with the handicappers, didn't you?
They can't have adjusted it since its last run. He wasn't watching again.
Now listen, let's talk about Valo. Now Valo beat you at Durnbull, mind you. He's off an 87, and you came out and won, and you're off the 90. It's obviously a bit of an adjustment there as well, but do you give him any sort of a chance? I think Glass Kelp, who came and drew 18, probably put paid to most chances that he may have had.
I have to say, I was impressed with Valo, and I was very impressed with him at Durnbull. I know, Durnbull's Durnbull, but the pair of them drew a long way clear, and I have to say, it's not. I don't usually bet, because, you know, and I had a big bet that day, and to have found Valo and got stuffed hurt an awful lot. It certainly put me off having lunch with my mother in London that day. And but then I feel sorry for Lance and Dean, because that's a team with Carl Up, who's fantastic at overcoming draws. That's a tough one to overcome. It's tougher to swallow, I think, than actually the draw itself. Poor old Lance didn't. Lars didn't look too happy anyway.
All right, one other runner that I'll ask you about, Brett, River God. Vaughan Marshall's plenty of speed. I'm not too sure about the 1400, but he's also quite a talented horse.
Yeah, he beat Valorant. You know, Valorant's come out and he won his next start. So obviously you've got to respect he's got a good draw of 6 and Vaughan's yards in form. But I think this is a very open race, Grant. I think there's a lot of horses that have had really like a handful of starts and they're unexposed. So, you know, on the day anything could happen. Last year, I think, like Joey said, I think the Captain America and Red Race stood out, that they were going to be the two that were going to fight it out. But this year, I think there's quite a few horses who stake claims to this race.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us. And as part of your performance here today, LANZERAC have kindly given you both a case of wine to take home and enjoy as well. So I'm sure you'll enjoy that. But thank you very much.
Magnificent.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thanks very much to Joey and Brett for joining us. And we'll be back to the studio shortly.
New Turf Carriers is a family-run business owned by Mark and Dorrie Sham and their 3 sons, Michael, Matthew and Marcus. New Turf Carriers has been in long-distance transport since 1995 and pride themselves in excellent service, punctuality and loyalty to their clients. Every single stud farm and every single sale to every single racecourse, New Turf Carriers pride themselves in delivering your horse safely. The welfare of your horse is paramount, and it is to this end that we have our own midway stop between Johannesburg and Cape Town. This is situated at Colesberg, where we have a stabling facility for 60 horses, so that the horses on long trips can get off and have a rest during their journey. The bottom line is, New Turf Carriers take your horse from door to door with pride, passion and punctuality.
We believe in excellence. We believe that if you're going to do something, you do it to your best ability. We aim to make Balmoral #1 in the Southern Hemisphere, not just South Africa.
Bounded away from them.
And very well done to Sean and to Chris. I think they've got a bit of a horse in their hands.
Peregrine on the far inside, but Pomodora. And Pomodora stays on the better one well today.
He is really a nice horse to ride.
Pomodora in the middle's picked it up in the closing stages, and Pomodora has raced away and has won it well.
He just stamped himself as a top 3-year-old in the country.
Manji and Pomodora, here comes the line, very close, maybe Manji in a photo.
And I'm excited for Pomodora to get to stud, and I'm excited for him to start producing it's just a whole new adventure and a whole new start. And believe you me, when Chris and I see them in the ring, we will put our head down.
So number 14, All Is Secret, is victorious, Well Witcher.
And for the lads won it.
Shay takes the lead. Shay wins the Elgos.
Well, Jackson's the son of Dynasty. We've heard from Brett Crawford about Alexis, his daughter of Dynasty, that's going to line up in the LANZERAC ready to run. But Jackson's the son of Dynasty, standing out at Highland Stud Farm, and he's managed by John Freeman. And John Freeman sent us the updates for the Jackson portfolio, and this is what we'll be bringing to you shortly.
Variety Club has no answer, and Jackson is storming home. Jackson draws off to win the derby in great style from Variety Club.
But Jackson's got them all stone cold in the Daily News. And Jackson's impressive. Vettel fights back for second. Shogun third, then White Line, Fema, Pomodoro and Master Plan.
Here's Jackson with fire in his eyes. And it's Jackson the last 100 like a ball of fire wanted.
It's humbling to work with horses of his caliber. He's a top horse. He's a fantastic animal. He's world class. He's won 3 Group 1s. He doesn't have to say anymore. He's done the talking.
Jackson, regally bred, his sensational sire Dynasty, his illustrious dam line, crammed with champion racehorses and champion sires. Jackson stands at Highland Stud Farm and is managed by John Freeman.
Gavel House is the leading website for trading horses online. Selling your racehorse, mare or even a share in a yearling is so easy on Gavel House. You can browse our sires directory to match the best mating for your mare with text description, videos and up-to-date sires reports. Gavelhouse.com is the best way to sell your horse. We reach places others can't, where buyers and sellers deal direct and pay no commission. Go to gavelhouse.com.
Thanks to Gavel House once again for their contribution. We've got 2 slides for them on tonight's show. We'll start off with syndications and shares. And we have a 2012 colt. He's unnamed. He's by King's Chapel out of the mare Love Letter. And they're looking for 5,000 Rand per 10% share. This precious 2-year-old colt that is showing good work at home. He's currently in full training, so he won't be long in terms of getting a run under his belt. He's a nice speedy sort that should debut in January. So if you want to get involved, you need to contact Ruan Naidu. We also have a horse in training, and this is a horse called Hermanus. He's by Trippy out of the mare Countess Larish. He's a 2010 gelding, and they are looking for guys to get involved and maybe put an offer in. Price on application. He's a winner and he's also a consistent performer. And here, if you need to get involved, you need to contact Derek Brookman. Hermanus has had 1 win over 1,200 metres and he's placed 11 times from his 19 starts, so very consistent. He's currently in training with Tara Lang in the Eastern Cape. His dam Countess Larish won twice over 1,800 and 2,000 and was also placed 9 times from her 19 runs. Well, that's it from the beautiful LANZERAC Hotel and Spa. Certainly one of the places you need to highlight as a trip on a Sunday, to come do some wine tasting, to come view the facilities. And if you're wanting to get away for the weekend in the beautiful Stellenbosch Mountains, a wonderful opportunity here as well. They've certainly got a wonderful spa, and you could be well spoilt when you stay here. We're looking forward to their race day on the 22nd of November out at Kenilworth. It also features the Greenpoint Stakes as well as the Selangor Cup. Some great racing. We look forward to seeing you there.